Hey, Algebra kids, happy Monday. We are in the final stretch of this week. This is our only math lesson for today. After you watch this video, there is another video on the new section, 7.5. Make sure you're taking notes as you normally would in class, and also doing your homework on a piece of paper so that when you go to input it into Google Forms, you'll not lose anything if that should happen. I wanted to go over a couple things from 7.4. You guys did very well. The only hiccups I saw pertained to the ones that had negatives for the leading coefficients. A couple of you still are mixing up your signs. So if you're not checking your work, you're not going to know that your signs are wrong. So just make sure you're checking your work in addition to that, okay? So if I look at number 19, I have negative 2x squared minus 5x plus 12. We stated we don't want anything with that leading coefficient being negative. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a negative out of the problem. I'm literally dividing everything by a -1. I'm pulling out a negative as if it was a GCF. So then that's going to make 2x squared positive, 5x positive, and 12 negative. Okay, so I want to factor out this trinomial right here. I'm going to ignore my negative sign. I'm bringing it down. It's part of the problem, right? It's part of the solution, I should say. So you want to bring it down so you don't forget about it, but you kind of can just ignore it. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to set up our parentheses and take a look at our signs. My last term is negative, so I have to have a positive and a negative. I don't have any other choice. Okay, now 2x squared, the only way I can get 2x squared is by doing 2x. Sorry, that was too crowded for my liking. 2x and x. That's the only way to get it. Okay, 12, there's a couple different options. You can do 1 times 12, you can do 3 times 4, you can do 2 times 6. I'm going to try to do 2 times 6, I think. Let's see how that works out. Okay, so if I check my middle term, so this, let's pretend this is the answer. I don't know if that's the answer yet. Let's pretend this is the answer. To check our work, we're going to strictly check our middle terms. Okay, we know the first term is, we get 2x times x. We know we get 2x squared. And 2 times -6, we know we get 12. We need to make sure we're getting this 5x when we do our middle term. So, whoops. 2 times x is 2x. 2x times -6 is -12x. When I add these two together, I get -10x. That is not right. Okay, I'm way off. And if I switch the signs, it's not going to help. It'll just be a positive 10x. So that's really not going to help matters too much. So let's try some different numbers. Let's try a 3 and a 4. So I put a 3 here. This marker's seen better days. If I put a 3 here, excuse me, and a 4 here, I get 3x and a -8x with a middle term of -5x. Ooh, I'm so close. All right, don't change anything around. All you have to do is change the signs. Make this positive, make that negative, and look what happens. You get the right middle term. Okay, so this is the answer for number 19. Oh, the sun's coming in here. See if I can move my table without disrupting things. There we go. Okay, number 21, that's the other one. Very similar problem. We have a negative leading coefficient, so I want to pull that out of the problem, which changes all my signs. And I have 5x squared minus 7x minus 6 now that I want to factor. I'm going to drop down my negative, and I'm going to prep my problem by putting the 2 parentheses and figuring out my signs. So if I have a negative last term, what's my only option? My only option is 1 positive and 1 negative. There's no other option for that. Okay? Also, to get 5x squared, there's one thing you can do. 5x times x. There's no other way to get 5x squared. 5x times x is 5x squared. Okay, now for 6, we have to figure out where we're going with this. Do we want to do 2 times 3? Do we want to do 1 times 6? I'm thinking 2 times 3. So I'm going to put a 3 here and a 2 here. Then I'm going to check my work. Okay, 3 times x is 3x. And 5 times negative 2, 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x. Oh, looky, we got it on the first try. So when you add those two together, you get negative 7x, which is what we have here. So this would be the answer to number 21. Okay, hope that helps. Again, if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me so that way I can help you individually if needed, or a couple of you guys want to go on a Zoom call, whatever you guys need. Okay? All right. Take a look at the video for 7.5 and that it will be it. You do the homework and you're good to go. All right, take care.